Yep, we talk about two horror movie icons. I gave you Jason, then I gave Freddy. Now I'm about to give you Freddy and Jason. These two iconic horror movie killers have fought for the first time in this movie, Freddy versus Jason. Jason. Two killers, one you cannot escape when you sleep, and one you cannot escape when you wake. But either way, it will be your death, your doom, your harm. Can hell stop them? I don't know. Can we stop Freddy? Can we stop Jason? Or can these two supernatural foes stop each other? Makes you wonder, don't it? Let us all talk about the story of the burnt face demon killer, Freddy, and the big eyed, this disfigured face, water killed demon killer, Jason. Two iconic horror movie characters from different backgrounds, but both are really superb killers. And they're tough to die. Just when you think you kill them, they always come back to haunt and destroy you and maim you. And Freddy versus Jason with Kelly Rowlands and a bunch of good actors. You know, the whole two icons, just frightful but never delightful. They spook you, thrill you, and scare you into your early grave. These two horror movies. One died by water, one died by fire. Jason died by water, Freddy died by fire. Two elements that are dangerous, but yet they was resurrected by unknown forces. Is it demon? Is it man? Is it God? Is it Jesus? The devil? We do not know. Or, but it also gave them a spin-off comic book where they fought Ash from No Evil Dead. And Ash might, if you read the comic book, Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, you will get your answer. I believe it was the book. But let's tell you the story of Freddy versus Jason. Two horror icons face off in a supernatural movie. This figured serial killer, Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund, who attacks his victims in their dreams, has lost much of his power since citizens of his town have become less afraid of him. Enlisting the help of fellow violent murderer Jason Voorhees, King Krasaga, Freddy orchestrates a new killing spree. However, when the hockey mask wearing psychopath won't stop chopping up Freddy's intended victims, the two ghouls start to battle each other. I take that back. It's Ken Krazoy that played in Freddy vs. Jason. My bad, I lied on the last one with Jason. My bad, folks. I'm sorry. I thought it was Kane Collar played him on there. Freddy vs. Jason. It wasn't. Okay, here we go. Freddy vs. Jason is a 2003 American slasher film directed by Ronnie Yu. Shout out to Ronnie Yu for making a good slasher film. And written by Damian Shannon and Mark Swift. It is a crossover between the Nightmare on Elm Street and the Friday 13th series. Beginning the eighth installment in the former and the 11th in the later, the film retroactively established the two series in a shared universe. In a shared universe, I mean. Basically, I think this is the first crossover in a movie of two horror movie characters. Hope we see some more crossovers with some other ones. We could see Chucky and the Leprechaun, Scream and My Bloody Valentine, the Wishmaster and Pinhead from Hellraiser. No, Wishmaster and Pinhead. Or we could say, see, Leatherface versus Michael Myers. And it pits their respective antagonists, Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees, against each other. After the former manipulates Jason into coming back to life and attacking the residents of Springwood to facilitate his own return. It is chronologically set after Friday the 13th, The Final Nightmare in 1991, and Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday in 1993, but before Jason X in 2001, and this is the last film in each franchise before their respective reboots. Here's the cover of it. Booyah. Directed by Ronnie Chu. Ronnie Yu. Written by Damon Shannon Mark Swift. Based on the characters by Wes Craven and Victor Miller. Produced by Sean S. Cunningham. Starring Monica Keena, Kelly Rowland, of course, from Destiny Child. Jason Ritter, Chris Marquette, Lancelin Marino, Robert England. Let me show this one more time. Cinematography by Fred Murphy, edited by Mark Stevens, music by Graham Revere, product company, of course, New Line Cinema, Crystal Lake Entertainment, distributed by New Line Cinema. I think New Line Cinema owned Freddy Cougar and Crystal Lake, I think, uh, owned Jason. I forgot the name of the company that owned Jason. Release date August 15th, 2003. Running time 98 minutes. Country United States. Language English. Budget 30 million. Box office 116.6 million. That ain't bad. You get 116.6 million after the budget's 30 million. Shoot, I'll take 100 million and be happy. Freddy vs. Jason was released in the United States on August 15th, 2003. It grossed over 116 million worldwide, making it the highest grossing film in each series. The film marks Robert Englund's final cinematic appearance as Freddy Krueger. A sequel and crossover with the Evil Dead franchise was planned, but it was ultimately scraped and turned into a comic book limited series, Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash, based on ads from the Evil Dead. Evil Dead franchise with the chainsaw hand. He fought Freddy and Jason. It was supposed to be a movie. This is my first time finding that out. I ain't know that, but they turned it into a comic book, a very successful comic book. Let's read the plot. Since his last defeat, Freddy Krueger has been in hell and unable to evade children's dreams. As an adult, a spring would have gone to extremes to make sure their children have forgotten him. Using his remaining power, Freddy resurrects Jason Voorhees, appearing as Jason's mother, Pamela Voorhees. He manipulates Jason into killing the teens of Springwood in order to create a fear in the townsfolk that Freddy has returned, which will allow him to regain his strength. Pretty smart. Meanwhile, Lori Campbell, who lives with her widowed father, has a sleepover with her friends Kia and Gibb. They are later joined by Trey Gibbs, emotionally abusive boyfriend, and his friend Blake. Jason enters the house and murders Trey, and the police suspect Freddy after a nightmare. Blake awakens to find his father decapitated by Jason, who then kills Blake himself. The police call it a murder suicide. The following day, hoping to conceal Freddy's return from the rest of the town. Elsewhere, Lois' ex-boyfriend Will Cullenhans and his friend Mark Davis forcibly institutionalized at the Western Fields Psychiatric Hospital are made to take hypnocoil to suppress their dreams because of their previous contact with Freddy. The news report about the killings prompt them to escape and return to Springwood to warn Lori about Freddy. That night, Lori and the others attend a raid in the cornfield. Freddy tries to kill Gibb in a nightmare, but Jason kills her first. In the real world, along with others at the raid angering Freddy, Will, Lori, and Kia escape the raid with school nerd Charlie Linderman, the stoner Bill Freeberg, after dropping off the latter three in a confrontation with Dr. Campbell, who was responsible for having Will and Mark committed to Western Hills. Over Will, certainly he saw Lois' father murder her, murder Will, and Lori head to Mark's house only to see him get killed by Freddy. Deputy Scott Stubbs believes Jason is a copycat killer and makes contact with Lori and her friends, who deduce Freddy's plan. Learning about Hippocyl, they try to get it from Western Hills. However, Freddy possesses Freeberg, using him to dispose of the medicine. Jason arrives and electrocutes. Yeah, Stubbs. Freddy uses the possessed Freeberg to tranquilize Jason, causing him to fall asleep after slicing Freeberg in half. But that was a gruesome scene. The teens have devised a plan to pull Freddy from the dream world into reality and force him to fight Jason, bringing the unconscious Jason back home to Camp Crystal Lake, where the real estate is in development. Freddy fights Jason in the dream world where he discovers that Jason has constant fears of drowning, symbolized by the water from a broken pipe. Dun dun dun. As a result of his drowning back in 1957, Freddy uses it to his advantage and Jason becomes afraid, reverting to his younger self. Lloyd goes to sleep in order to pull Freddy out and saves Jason. As Freddy tortures Lloyd in the dream world, revealing that he murdered her mother, Jason awakens and at the real Camp Crystal Lake to pursue the teens, killing Lindbergh. Lloyd is awakened and pulls Freddy into the physical world, showing a fear of fire as a result of his death by burning, where he is confronted by Jason. hmm Freddy and Jason fight throughout the compounds, during which Jason kills Kia. Freddy uses the construction site to gain the upper hand and cuts Jason's fingers, allowing Freddy to take his machete. As Freddy is slicing away at Jason, Lloyd distracts him before Jason punches his fingerless hand through Freddy's torso. Freddy retaliates by plunging Jason's machete into his side, and Jason rips Freddy's glove arm off. Lloyd and Will set the dock on fire, causing numerous propane tanks to explode and throwing Freddy and Jason to the lake. Lloyd and Will braces Freddy makes his way to them on a dock and is about to kill the couple with Jason's machete, but he is impaled by Jason with his own clawed arm, allowing Lloyd to behead Freddy with the machete. Jason falls off the dock and Freddy's head and body sinks into the lake, both seemingly dead. After dropping the machete, but Jason submerged, Lloyd and Will leave. The following morning, Jason emerges from the water holding his machete and Freddy's severed head. Freddy winks and laughter is heard in the background, leaving the winner announced ambiguous. Of course, Robert Englund as Freddy, Kurt Koziker as Jason Voorhees, Spencer Stump as Jason Voorhees, of course, Kurt Koziker as Jason, of course, Kurt Kerzer as Jason Voorhees, Spencer Stump as young Jason Voorhees, of course, no, Ken Kerzer as Jason, yes, Spencer Young. Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund as Freddy, Kurt Kinzer as Jason. Yeah, had to make sure. Some of these people got like Kurt Koziker, yeah. Michael Sheen as Lloyd Campbell, Jason Ritter as Will Rollins, Kelly Rowland as Kia Watson, Chris Marquette as Charlie Linderman, Lexine Moreno as Deputy Scott Stubbs, Catherine Isabel as Gibb Smith, Brandon Fletcher as Mark Davis, Zach Ward as Bobby Davis, Mark's older brother, Kaylee Laban as Bill Freeberg, Chris Gother as Shaq, David Kopp as Blake, Jesse Hutch as Trey Cooper, Tom Butler as Dr. Campbell, Carrie Chalk as Sheriff Williams, Paula Shaw as Pamela Voorhees. Additionally, Evangeline Lilly had the walk-on role as a high school student. Professional wrestler Oscar Cortez, better known by his ring name Rey Mysterio Jr., was England's stunt double for a scene in Freddy's Boiler Room lair. New Line Cinema Studio Chief Robert Shea, who produced every preceding Nightmare on Elm Street film, played the school principal, credited as Leo Mako. Alright, so Freddy is owned by New Line Cinema and Jason owned by Paramount. Influence of the franchise crossover film between Freddy and Jason, New Line and Paramount tried to make a Freddy vs. Jason movie in 1987 but could not agree on a story when Friday the 13th Part 3 Jason Takes Manhattan failed in the box office. Sean Cunningham wanted to recreate the rights to Friday the 13th and began working with New Line Cinema on Freddy vs. Jason. New Line owned Nightmare on Elm Street. Paramount and New Line wanted the license, and of course Paramount owned Friday the 13th. New Line and Paramount wanted the license to the other characters so they could control a crossover film. Negotiations on the project collapsed, and Paramount made Jason Takes Manhattan after Friday the 13th part. I think there'd be seven. Jason Takes Manhattan was released in 1989. The rights reverted to Scrutiny, Missani, and Barsanito, who sold them to New Line before Cunningham could begin to work on Freddy vs. Jason. Wes Craven returned to New Line to make New Nightmare. This put Freddy vs. Jason on hold, but allowed Cunningham to bring Jason back with Jason Goes to Hell. The final Friday, the ninth installment turned a healthy profit. Cunningham's frustration with the delayed development of Freddy vs. Jason led him to create Jason X to keep the series alive. Based on Jason Takes Manhattan concept of taking Jason away from Crystal Lake, the 10th film put the titular character in space. The film lost its biggest supporter with the resignation of president of production Michael D. Luca. Lack of support let the finished film sit for 2 years before it was released on April 26, 2002. It was the series' lowest grossing film at the domestic box office and had the largest budget of any film to date. New Line spent a reported $6 million on script development, along with several different writers. Cyrus Boris and Ethan Reeve were commissioned by Dave Lucas alongside Louis Abney and Sean S. Cunningham. Neither draft was well liked by the studio, so Brandon Braga and Ronald D. Moore were hired to bring the project in a new direction. David L. Sue was given an offer to write the script because he had just happened to walk by De La Cruz's office that day. David S. Goya and James Dale Robson both secretly rewrote the Boris Reeve draft. Rob Biden, known for his makeup work on The Thing and Total Recall, was selected to direct the film in 1997. Mark Verheiden entered the project in the late 90s. In the late 1990s, and proposed to release the film with two different endings, one with Freddie winning and one with Jason winning. Peter Bridges, Jason X writer Todd Foreman, and screenwriter duo Jonathan Abreu Glenn Berger were all later brought to write for the film. Newcomers Mark Swift and Damon Shannon were hired by delivering a pitch that D. Lucas was happy with. Goyer returned to the project once again in an effort to trim every ounce of fat from Swift and Shannon's 120-page script. According to Swift and Shannon, several endings were considered for the film. One involved Pinhead of the Hellraiser franchise, but New Line did not want to secure the rights to the character. Filming of Freddy vs. Jason began on September 9, 2009. Filming for Freddy, September 9, 2002 and ended on December 10th, 2002. Released. The film was released on VHS DVD, part of New Line's Platinum Series on January 13, 2004. The DVD release contained the second disc of bonus content with audio commentary by Ronnie Yu, Ken Kaiser, and Robert Englund. Deleted and alternate scenes with commentary of Il Nino's the music video for How Can I Live, trailers, and TV ads. Soundtrack promotion and behind the scenes featurettes. The film was released on October 4th, 2005 on Universal Media Disc on September 8th, 2009 on Blu-ray. The Blu-ray release had the same content as the Platinum Series DVD. Box office. Freddy vs. Jason has grossed 82.6 million in the United States and Canada and 34 million in other territories for a total of 116.6 million against a production budget of 30 million. The film earned 36.4 million, dollar sign 36.4 million in the opening weekend as 3,114 theaters in North America, topping the box office. It remained number one in the second weekend, grossing 13.4 million, and dropped to sixth place in the third weekend at 7.1 million. To other media, Black Flame published a novelization of the film on July 29, 2003. That's the story of Freddy vs. Jason. Much love to everyone. Thank y'all for supporting it. I'm gonna come up with some more content. Catch me tomorrow at 12 o'clock, and I might do a show as early as 8 o'clock, no less than 9. If I don't, you still catch me at 12. You know, I'm out.